Yes, my people, welcome back once again to Tide to Talk. As you guys can see, we have a new background, something I made. I'm very proud of it. And I have to call out your friend Dicanio because from long time, man, I'm going to make the background for the show. I know the man can present something tangible. So I took it upon myself to make the background, but big up yourself still. Today I'm joined by Dylan from the Gunners YouTube channel and Big Steph from the Big Steph YouTube channel. And before you can say anything, Steph, let me just go ahead and do the right thing. People, as you join, please head over to the Big Step channel. I don't think we actually have any viewers right now, but maybe just YouTube taking a bit of time to update the analytics. But anyways, once you join, people, head over to the Big Step YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. Steph covers Arsenal as well as the US men's national team because, well, he's originally from the United States, but he doesn't cover his other country, which is what? Barbados? Yeah. They don't have a football team. But as I said, people, listen, if you want me to coach them, then you can give me a phone call. You know what I'm saying? But Dylan, Steph, how are you guys doing?
Good, man. Good. Can't complain. You know what I mean? Ready to take on Villa at the weekend. Ready to beat Villa. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
And
yeah, man, I'm alright. I had to do some stuff with my car a while ago, so that's what relate. But yeah, all is well. Looking forward to the game. Looking for another 3 points, and then we just need 36 more wins, and we'll win the Premier League.
Of course.
But the bad news of this week, Gundu back to City.
Oh yeah.
No hope of winning the title again.
For free.
Rodri.
For free.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I didn't make any predictions for the league, but we're going to be in second place unless it's a miracle. So yeah.
We say predict second place for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, Gundogan's clutchness at the end of the season needs to be studied. Bro, that guy, no, we don't have any player like that. We don't have a player like that.
We will make a player like that this year. Somebody gonna step
up.
Somebody gonna step up. Somebody gonna step up.
You see, that's you, delusion. That is delusion.
It's the hope that kills you. I rather walk in the hope. I rather die in the hope. Fine.
Yeah.
Mr. Presser, how are you doing, Mr. Presser?
Just trying to fix something. I'm not too bad. I'm doing well. Back again on the Premier League content. I'm loving the new look of the studio, actually, the background. I just love it. You know what I'm saying? I just love it. Some people wanted to be lazy and not make the background. I'm sure they're watching. So big up yourself. And, Steph, funny enough, they decided to put the road over the show. They rather go there on the road than join us on this well put together panel. Me myself being a United fan, Dylan being an Arsenal fan, and you, Steph, yourself being an Arsenal fan as well. But people, listen up. We have so many big topics to talk about today. Raheem Sterling being kicked or exiled from Chelsea. No longer has a future at Chelsea. The only future would be for him to sit down and collect his big wages. Also, we're going to talk about Dujuan Richards because, Steph, I'm sure you're familiar with the so-called wonder kid, right? Dujuan Richards, who plays in the academy for Chelsea. But there's a huge uncertainty surrounding his future. Seeing that he recently did a surgery, he is behind everyone, seeing that he'll have to enter the recovery mode and everything whilst the season is ongoing at the academy level. It begs the question, what is the future surrounding Whisper? You see Chelsea signed players left, right, and center for some huge amount of money. Whisper was not signed for a lot of money when Chelsea signed him. So, what is the priority surrounding a player like Whisper compared to the Pies of the world, etc., the guy that they signed from Brazil? We're also going to touch on Leon Bailey. Last time we were here for the review of week 1, you stated that you're not afraid of Leon Bailey as he is set to face Arsenal this upcoming weekend on the 24th.
Standing on all 10 toes.
Huh?
Standing on all 10 toes.
Mm-hmm.
I am backing down from that. Standing on all 10 toes.
So you're not backing down?
No, not at all.
I hear you. I hear in that respect. But I think Leon Bailey has something in store for you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I am here to defend my, can I say beloved Jamaican without anybody saying why?
Go ahead.
I'm here to defend my beloved Jamaican in Leon Bailey. And he's back in the Reggae Boyz team as well. Well, not fully back. He has to accept the next call up, but I think Mr. Speed clarified that he will not. There's no need to write a letter to get back into the team. But anyways, people, once again, before we kickstart things, just go ahead, head over to the Big Steph YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. Steph, just tell them some quick things about your channel. I said something already, but just you being the owner of that channel, just give them some quick details.
Yes, you'll find all kinds of Arsenal content there, fan interviews, player analysis, player breakdowns, player comparisons, as well as transfer news, any trendy Arsenal news, all on my channel, as well as United States men's national team content, all of that on my channel. So head over there and subscribe.
So let's kickstart things with Manchester United going into this week. Yeah, sorry about that, people. Technical issues, it's a new layout. But anyways, as a United fan, I guess I should start off first, but I'm gonna make Steph go ahead. Steph, Manchester United, we've made some big signings throughout this summer transfer window. Matthias De Ligt, Joshua Zirkzee, who scored on his debut for the club as well. We're facing off against Brighton, second game of the season. And funny enough, I feel like every start of the season, we've always faced Brighton, and we faced them with the hands of defeat. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Jose Mourinho just came at United. Well, not just came at United, but it was an opening day of the season. I think it was like the first, second, or third game in. Brighton smashed us. That was when Lindelof just signed for United, right? The first time Ten Hag took over as United manager, I got smashed, got thumped like 4-something or 3-something, something like that. But funny enough, last day of the season, we beat Brighton 2-0. I don't remember the first fixture of last season, but you have any thoughts surrounding Brighton versus Manchester United?
Of course, because I follow a lot of United channels as well. I follow United Stan and other platforms like that. And I ain't gonna lie, you guys have made a lot of good signings. I do like the Mazraoui signing. I do think the De Ligt signing you needed. Zirkzee looked pretty good in the cameo he made, dropping short and creating that chance to end up getting on the end of it and scoring goals. But Brighton started off with a good 3-0 victory away from home. They got a new manager, Bounce. Matoma back in form. They have really, really good players that they're welcoming back. Sarmiento and Ciso, Adingra, another talent, to be honest, I've been watching since last season. So Brighton are overall good attacking side and I think they would definitely be able to looking to cause Manchester United threat, especially down the left-hand side, because still you're not sure about that. You have Luke Shaw out. Dalot played their last game, but can he put in another good performance there? You will have to be able to tell me. But I think United should be wary of Brighton. Brighton are a side that would definitely cause harm, especially at home.
Dylan, you can go through.
I hate Manchester United. It's my least favorite club in the Premier League. So anytime you guys lose, it's a good day for me.
I didn't ask if you hate the club, but go on.
Oh no, I just need to preface that on this show that I dislike Manchester United. So I will always support the next team to beat you guys. And I think Bayern is a perfect fixture for you guys to hold you and just give you a nice humble pie. But yeah, I think Brighton will it's at Brighton's home. I think it's one of you guys needed like a relegation team to play second so that you could build up your confidence. But I think Brighton will play through you guys. Mason Mount, yeah, I don't know how that guy is still starting in the Premier League. And if he starts the next game, I think you guys will get done again. Zirkzee, he looked decent for the little 2 minutes, dropping off the lines, as Big Steph said. But yeah, I don't really have any hope for you guys this season. I wish you guys the absolute worst.
The thing you guys have to watch too, that's an early kickoff game. So if Brighton could come out, and you never know how that game could go when there's an early kickoff. So listen, Manchester United need to be on the toes if to even think about winning that game. No doubt about it.
Exactly. It could be Johnny Evans starting at centre back.
Yeah, for
sure. I don't know. So
I mean, listen, seeing that it's my team, let me just chime in quickly before I move on. Listen, as I mentioned something about the opening day of the season or something close to the opening day of the season. Let's look back at let's look at these 4 fixtures or 4 past fixtures, right? So last time United beat them at the end of the season, 2-0 victory. Dalot and Rasmus Højlund scored in that game. And then on the 16th of September, so that's when the season is still in like the fresh mode, right? Would you guys agree that the season is still fresh?
Yeah, I would agree.
Brighton beat us 3-1. Before that, in May of the previous season, which is when the season would have ended, Brighton did beat us 1-0. And this was when Erik ten Hag was appointed in August of 2022. Brighton beat Manchester United 2-1. I think it was in August of 2022, 2022, 2023, 23, 24. Yeah. So August 2022, he was appointed and Brighton did beat us 2-1. Basically at the start of the season. So as you guys can see, in Eric Ten Hag's last 2 games at the early stages of the season, when it comes down to Brighton, he has faced 2 defeats against the Seagulls. So it's a bit of a tricky fixture for Manchester United going into that second opening game of the season. I think Manchester United, for me, seeing that it's my team, we definitely have to be wary and careful of this Brighton team, especially seeing that they have a new manager. They could be on the new manager bounce. I mean, sometimes the new manager bounce comes after like you have like a horrible season and then you get in a new manager and you're trying to like show the manager what you're capable of. But I think this could be a case where they're in the new manager bounce as well, because it's not Roberto De Zerbi, it's a different manager. I think he's the youngest manager in the Premier League as well, people. Well, not that I think, he definitely is the youngest manager in the Premier League. I think James Milner is definitely older than him, right? James Milner is all like close to 39, 40. Whilst this manager is like 31, 32, 33, 34. I should have had a definite age surrounding him, but I'm not like following him up. Like, I saw something on the website. What is it, Big Steph?
31.
Oh, 31. Shit, what will I be?
He's from Houston, Texas? What? He's from Houston, Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But listen up. Let me just give some more details surrounding this game. But for me, as I said, heading into this game, I'm confident. Listen, it's an away game, so tough game for United. I think what we have to do compared to the last game that we played against Fulham is that we definitely have to take our chances. In terms of the potential starting lineup, I'm hoping that I'll see Matthias De Ligt. We signed him for a big amount of money, so I need to see him starting in that game. Well, not say starting in that game, because I think Harry Maguire somewhat had a good game against Fulham. I think he was one of our better defenders, especially in the latter stages of that game. Harry Maguire made some crucial interceptions. I remember one time when Fulham, they were on the counter-attack and Maguire was kind of backpedaling and kind of like stick a foot back out to kind of stop the ball. And anyhow that ball had went through people, United would have probably been like one goal down to Fulham at home. So Harry Maguire had a good game, but I'd like to see Matthias De Ligt maybe get some more minutes, because he's going to be a big staple for us this upcoming season. But any final thoughts heading into this game from you guys, starting off with Big Steph?
Yeah, Manchester United need to be wary, pick the right lineup, but I still think Brighton would get the victory here. To be honest, I have Brighton with a 2-1 victory.
Dylan?
My prediction for the game: Daniel Welbeck is going to score. I can tell you that.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe you guys could get a draw, maybe, but I feel like it's going to be like a 2-1 Brighton. 2-1 Brighton. Welbeck will score.
It's on bad mind still.
There's no bad mind. I don't want.
There's no bad mind. There's really no bad mind.
But I mean, I hear you guys. I think it's jealousy, but we can move on now and let's head into the second game that we will be covering. Crystal Palace versus West Ham. So let's get straight into it. Yeah, so I'm gonna kick it off with you, Dylan. Palace versus West Ham. Palace lost their opening game of the season as well as West Ham. West Ham made some big signings across this summer transfer window. Share your thoughts on this game. We have Mikel Antonio who plays for West Ham. Do you see Mikel Antonio starting in this game?
Probably. I don't think Fulkrid made enough of an impact on the last game for Antonio to lose his place. Yeah, I think Crystal Palace should. I feel like West Ham is hard to predict because they have so many moments players like Paquetá, like Bowen. Yeah, those are the two that's coming to mind right now. But yeah, I think this could end up in a draw. I hope Antonio scores. It'd be great for us as a country if Antonio scores, but I think it's highly unlikely knowing him. But yeah, Crystal Palace has a very decent side this season. They have a lot of class players, and I like their manager. What's his name? Glasnow? So yeah, I think I'm looking at a draw for that one.
Steph?
To be honest, I was gonna lean a little bit towards West Ham. Both teams not desperately need a win, but both teams will look to get a win, having lost respectively. But like you said, Dylan, moments players for West Ham, Somerville, Fulkrug. I expect him to start, even though Antonio didn't really do much last game. I expect Fulkrug to start. Same thing with Somerville. I expect him to be another bright spark for them. Paqueta, another one. But I just feel like I don't know if Mateta will be back for Crystal Palace, but I just don't think Palace have the firepower to score enough goals, and I think that's what will probably hold them back, to be honest, throughout the Premier League season.
I mean, what I always say is that they had enough firepower in the friendly game to dismantle West Ham, and some people might say it's a friendly, but the tricky thing is it's a fresh defeat since summer. So I think, I could care less if it was the academy team playing for both respective teams. The fact that you faced defeat just recently to this Crystal Palace team, I think that is something that would be playing in the back of West Ham's mind. And last season as well, I think Crystal Palace did dismantle West Ham at what's the name of Palace's stadium? Sellers Park. At Sellers Park, Crystal Palace did dismantle this West Ham team. I think 5-1 or 5-2. So it's a tricky game for West Ham going into Sellers Park away from home. I think Crystal Palace, they'll be up for this game, especially coming off the back of a defeat. I know that they no longer have Olise, but they still have Eze as well as a few other wonderful players, right? And they've made some good acquisitions across the summer. In terms of what I've seen, for me personally, I think Crystal Palace will grab 3 points in this game. And I think he'll be a 2-0 victory to Palace. Dylan, what your prediction be?
1-1. Is a goal. I need it for my fantasy Premier League.
I think you should retire from fantasy, actually.
Why?
It destroys rivalry. But anyways, Steph, what you?
To be honest, I did say West Ham a win. I'd probably say a 1-0 win. Just also to the fact that Palace just saw one of the best defenders in Anderson, and possibly going to use Guehi. I don't even know
where did Anderson go?
He went today. He went to Fulham. So I don't know.
Fulham?
Yes, he went to Fulham. I don't know how they will fare. I don't even know how they will line up. I don't even know where he will play tomorrow or whenever this game is. Not tomorrow, sorry. But it's going to be. I think it will be a tough one for Palace, regardless if it's at home or not. So I'd lean probably West Ham 1-0.
I mean, I feel like you guys are being unfair. I mean, look at the last 5 fixtures. Aren't you guys seeing what is on screen? Palace in the last 5 games, they've won 3 out of the last 5. West Ham getting a draw, plus a win over Crystal Palace. But this was the 5-2 fixture I was talking about at the back end of last season. And then you had the 4-3 victory at Sellers Park again. The last time Crystal Palace would have won away from home would have been in November of 2022 against West Ham at the London Stadium, a 2-1 victory. So Crystal Palace, they've always had the upper hand against this West Ham team in the last 5 fixtures. In the 5-2 defeat that West Ham faced, Mikel Antonio scored, Dean Henderson scored an own goal, which is the goalkeeper for Crystal Palace. But Michael Olise scored in this game. He's no longer at the club. Eze, Emerson own goal, that's the West Ham man. And you had Mateta with a double with a brace in this game. So, I mean, just psychological, or from the psychological side, Crystal Palace, they're going in with the upper hand, especially with a new manager who I think it's a brilliant manager. You saw the job that he did after Rai Hudson, which I think Rai Hudson needs to retire from football if he hasn't retired already. But I'm backing Crystal Palace to get the win against West Ham. And it's not that I have anything against West Ham. I think they're a brilliant team. But when you bring in so many players, you're still trying to acclimatize yourself with the system, etc., etc. And I know that Mikel Antonio stressed the fact that the players are trying to settle into the system, where Crystal Palace, they already have a system that was established last season with this manager that is currently there. So I think you guys are being unfair. Final thoughts before moving to the next game?
So I thought you said you had some thoughts to share on Antonio, some strong thoughts you say you had to share.
Bro, you're
not feeling to share your strong take?
Now, I think everybody knows my thoughts surrounding Antonio. I'm calling for Antonio to be benched this upcoming game. Reason being, I just feel like as a striker, it doesn't offer enough. For me, I've always been a big advocate that a striker needs to score goals. And Antonio is this player. When he's good, you get a lot from him. But on his bad day, it's really, really bad. You know what I'm saying? You'll have some strikers on a bad day in front of goal, they can provide something else. Whereas Mikel Antonio, if he's not scoring, what else can he offer that's good? I mean, being a flat track bully, it's all good in itself when you meet the right team to bully and, maybe lay off a one ball to a winger or a different player to score a goal and then you get an assist and you move on. But for me, I just feel like West Ham, if they want to finish high in the table this season and get back into a European spot in which they've done in the past previous seasons, I think they'll have to go with Volker from the start of the season, get him into the system, get him scoring goals, boosting his confidence, etc. I'm not saying that Antonio is a bad player, people. I'm just saying that he doesn't score enough goals. For me, Antonio did state that he's backing himself to score 10 goals across the season in the Premier League as well. So that's my opinion surrounding Antonio.
Fair point.
You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think it's a bad point. To be honest, I think you're actually pretty accurate. To be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. Well said.
All right, Conrad Smith, big up yourself. Conrad Smith said, big up the man them. Dicanio Tomlinson, big up yourself. Like up the video now. And honestly, people, I think I might ban Dicanio because he's commenting from different YouTube channels. Like, it's actually annoying at this point in time. You get me? I say. But anyways, quick commercial break, people. 65 of you guys are 66, 67 now. Please stop what you're doing. Just go ahead, people. Smash that like button, people. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new. People, we need you guys to smash the like button, right? Those are big favor. Just go ahead, smash that like button as it does help. Steph, tell the people to smash the like button.
Smash that like button. Help the video, support the thing all the time.
Yeah. And people, feel free to share thoughts in the comment section as well. What do you guys think about Mikel Antonio and this West Ham team going up against Crystal Palace this upcoming weekend? And once again, people, this is Tighty Talk. This is the preview show for the upcoming fixtures surrounding our respective Reggae Boyz players that play in the English Premier League. So the next game that we will be taking a look at is Fulham versus Leicester City. And as we all know, people, Bobby De Cordova-Reid will be facing off against his former team. Bobby De Cordova-Reid plays for Leicester City at this moment in time. He went there on a free transfer, so he'll be facing off against Fulham, his old club. So let's get straight into that, my people. Yeah, big Steph. Fulham versus Leicester City. Red Bull FC, Jamie Vardy FC. The man that told Tottenham that they don't have a Premier League title, which I'm sure that you and Dylan are quite happy with that. And Jamie Vardy's performance, getting that equalizing goal against Tottenham Hotspur. And before I even move on, what do you guys think of Tottenham?
Shit, as always,
Yes.
never turn it down.
Definitely. But Fulham versus Leicester City, two good teams. Marco Silva at Fulham, a manager that I do admire, especially for his but especially for his work at when he was at Watford and he went to Everton. Didn't have the best of time at Everton, to be honest. However, went to Fulham and I think he has a good name right now. Done some wonderful things with this Fulham team. Previously, Fulham, they used to be this team that they come up in the Premier League and then they drop back down into the Championship. But I think now under Marco Silva, there's a bit of stability moving forward, especially when you look at the quality players that they've been selling as well. And just to touch on Fulham, they should have probably beaten Manchester United. I mean, both of the teams had equal chances. I think at the end of the day, Fulham had, I'm not going to say more clear-cut chances, but with Adama Traore, they got in some dangerous positions compared to Manchester United across 90 minutes, especially with the pace that Fulham was hitting us with on that breakaway. You know what I'm saying? But that's a story for another day. Remind me of the name of the manager that's at Leicester City, Steve Cooper. Not a bad manager, however, not the most exciting name to have at a club. Anyways, Dylan, Leicester City versus Fulham. Bobby De Cordova-Reid, a player that you've done a video on already. Any thoughts surrounding Leicester City and Bobby De Cordova-Reid heading into this game against Fulham?
I think Fulham will beat them.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is a good game for Fulham, and I think this might be because of Emil Smith-Rowe. But yeah, I think Fulham is just a better team than Leicester at this current time. Leicester is still going through transition. But yeah, I think a player like Bobby Reid, this is a game where Bobby Reid should be shining. But yeah, I don't really have that many thoughts. I just think that Fulham will beat Leicester, especially at Craven Cottage. Marco Silva has a really good thing going on at Fulham. So, and worse if they just got Anderson, who was such an underrated defender in the Premier League. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Fulham will go on to beat Leicester. To be honest, Leicester did not look impressive against Spurs, even though they did manage to get a draw. I think Spurs just missed way too many chances in that game, too many clear-cut chances, and even too many half chances. So if Leicester play anything like they did against Fulham, then I can't really see them getting the points at Fulham, to be honest. Fulham, look, like I said, created a lot of chances against Manchester United. Smith Rowe, like you touched on, Dylan, looked really impressive in the couple minutes where he did play until he got subbed off. And Fulham, throughout as a whole, have a lot of creative players. You have Pereira, you have other players as well that can get the job done on the day. You have Jimenez who can score goals, Traore with that pace and his strength. So it's just a lot. It's just too many threats, I think, for Leicester. And to be honest, I can't see them getting anything out of the game.
Let's take a look at the last 5 fixtures. So the last time Fulham faced off against Leicester, they won 5-3, which was back in 2023. Then Fulham beating Leicester City once again 1-0. Leicester beating Fulham 2-0. Fulham getting the better of Fulham getting the better of Leicester City 2-1, and Leicester City getting the better of Fulham 3-1 back in March of 2019. So when you look at it, man, Fulham, they hold the edge over this Leicester City team. Leicester beating them 2 times out of the last 5 fixtures. So Fulham, they definitely have the edge, as we see on screen by the last 5 results. I think, it's almost like Leicester took a loan away from the Premier League last season. I know that they were relegated, whatever the case is. I get that. But I think the Prem did definitely miss Leicester City and Jamie Vardy and his character and what he has to offer to the Premier League, right? In terms of this upcoming game, I give Fulham the edge, seeing that they're at home to this Leicester City team. I think Leicester City, they kept some players in Dede, Jamie Vardy. I think Chadori is still there, if I'm not mistaken. James Justin is still there as well. I think it's pronounced Wesley Face or Fass. I don't know his name is
or something like that. Yeah, Vote Faz.
Yeah, forgive me if I mispronounce his name. I know that he's at the club as well. So they have some familiar faces at the club. However, they've had a ton load of changes in this Leicester City team at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying, Steph? So for those players coming into the Premier League, they have to get familiar to the Premier League compared to players that played in the Premier League before. So I'm giving Fulham the edge in this game against Leicester City. But listen, when you have Jamie Vardy on your side, any card can play. You know what I'm saying? Especially with his experience. And the last thing you want Jamie Vardy to do is to start drinking Red Bull at halftime, coming out in that second half. Dylan, quick prediction, and then we move over to Steph and we'll get into the next game.
1-0 Fulham.
1-0 Fulham. All right, Steph.
I go 2-0 Fulham, but I do want to ask you guys a question touching on the Reggae Boyz and Bobby Reed. What would be like a good season for Bobby Reed? What do you guys think? Like in terms of like stats wise or even performance wise to help your team stay up, like what would you expect from a player like that in the Premier League?
10 goals and assists.
In total?
Yeah, in total.
That's not bad.
No.
I don't know about that, but I just feel like whichever position they play him in, then once he just perform, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of player that Bobby Reed is. He'll definitely come up with some big goals for the rest of the season, but he'll play multiple positions. So once he's playing to the best of his ability, seeing that he's getting on the other side of age, then that would be a good thing for Bobby Reed and Leicester City. And he went there for free. He went there for free as well. So there's no pressure on Bobby Reed to really perform. It's not like he's coming with a price tag, and it's also it's not like he's on big wages. As far as I know, I don't think Leicester would have signed him on big wages, especially with their difficulties. Anyways, let's take some comments from the comment section. RR, big up yourself. Him say up, him say Antonio. Conrad Smith say they surround him with people can score. He's not a big goal scorer. He do a lot more than that. That's why I still play in Premier League. Definitely I agree, but for me, as I've said, I've always been a big advocate of strikers scoring goals more so than creating opportunities for other players. You know what I'm saying? Gunna's Boss, big up yourself, Gunna's Boss. All the Jamaicans in the Premier League across the world are my favorites. I'm happy for them making money. Definitely. However, I don't think we have to spend long on this game. So let's move over to this game quickly, which is Manchester City versus Ipswich Town. Yes, Steph. City versus Ipswich. bro, I don't think you have to spend more than a minute on
It's,
this
it's,
one.
it's, a, it's a formality. I'm gonna give my prediction right now. I'd probably say a 4-0 City, especially first game at home. No, listen, Omari Hutchinson, a good talent. I know that's one of the Reggae Boyz players we're gonna look to focus on and touch on. But do I feel like he can really impact the game to do anything against this Man City side, who just got a boost in getting Ilkay Gundogan for free? I can't really see Ipswich Town even laying a glove on Man City. That's just the harsh reality.
Dylan.
Listen, it's going to be like Haaland is going to score a hat trick in this game. I can.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was about to say
I
that.
can see
This
it.
is one of the games.
This is the first Haaland hat trick of many this season. And yeah, I think maybe a 5-1. I just hope Omari can get a goal. Give me some false hope at the start of the game. Like I need to,
or something, you know.
yeah, I
take
need to feel something, you know. But like, yeah, I feel like this was going to be like a 5-1.
Yeah, I can see that.
5-1. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going with the 5, but I just know that City will win, and I know that Haaland will score a hat trick. And as you said, it's the formality for City and Erling Haaland at the start of the season. He has to kick off the season with scoring a hat trick. And what better way to do it against Ipswich Town, aka the Tractor Boys? I see Dicanio in the comment section saying that City will lose. I would advise you that if you have anything better to do, then find something productive to do. You get me? I say, but people, once again, smash up the like button. We have 74 you guys, 80 on screen right now. Smash that like button, people. It helps the channel and it helps the video as well. But big up to Omari Hutchinson. I won't be spending much time on Manchester City versus Ipswich because there's literally nothing to talk about. There's no assessment to give surrounding this game, to be honest. It's just a win or it's just a victory for City going into this game.
Press our Wi-Fi, people. The Wi-Fi. Anyway, the next game actually is. So, Steph, tell me, what is the prediction?
No, listen, I've gone on record. I've even have my preview coming up soon. Check out the Big Step channel if you want to see the preview up tomorrow. I have Arsenal beating Aston Villa, but I also am very confident in a clean sheet. Something I'll hang my hat on the line and say I think Arsenal will manage to keep a clean sheet. I do expect us to make some changes at left back. I'd expect to see Timber come in, or maybe a shock surprise and see Calafiori start. Don't rule it out because I think physically, I don't want to be on a presser thing and talk about physicality and none of that, but physically, I think he's capable enough to go straight into the game. He's tall, he's strong. He looks like a player that fits our style of play. And I could see him working out on suiting and stuff, but I think Arteta will play it safe and have Timber at left back. And to be honest, I think Arsenal will get the points. To be honest, I think it should be a clean sheet. And I think Arsenal should be confident in getting the win.
Steph, before you even delve into that, let me just cover the Liverpool versus Brentford game quickly. Yeah, cause I wanted to save the Arsenal one for the last bit, and then we're transitioning into Liam Bailey and Raheem Sterling as the main talking points. Quick fix: Liverpool versus Brentford. Last time, Liverpool beat Brentford 5-2 at Anfield. I think 5-1 or 5-2. I can check that quickly. Dylan, starting with you, thoughts on this game? Not Ivan Toney. I could care less about Ivan Toney. I don't know why this guy's name is on my head right now. But I was talking about Ethan Pinnock and this Brentford team. Can they beat Liverpool?
I think it's a good game I think it's a perfect fixture.
Sorry, 4-1 people.
Huh?
No, 4-1 the last time Liverpool faced off against them. Yeah.
No, I think this is the perfect game to test what is happening on the what's his name? Slot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think as it's a true test. I think the game against Ipswich, I want to see if this is something generational that Slot is doing, because the way that they were accessing, I don't know if you saw it, Steph, the way that they were accessing spaces and putting passes through was, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Not even like prime KDB has to run ball like that. And it wasn't like it was just one or two. It was multiple of those passes, right? And I know that Trent is amazing and has all the ability in the world, but I was just shocked for the whole game. But yeah, I think it'll be a tougher game than people think. I think it's going to be a test for Liverpool's defense. Wissa, Mbeumo, whoever else that plays, they're always a deadly duo. Not trying to low up Van Dijk or Konate or whatever, but it's a new system at the end of the day. And yeah, and they don't really have an out and out number 6, whereas Brentford's midfield has always been solid. But with all that said, I think I can see like if things go to plan with Liverpool, I can see like a 3-1.
Gunners boss said 2-0 victory for Liverpool standard. Steph, any thoughts around this game? Smurf, big up yourself as well.
I'm still thinking about it in my head. I think Dylan made a lot of good points. Even touching on Brentford, I thought he made a lot of good points for Brentford. I hope Brentford could really cause Liverpool some trouble. Being a new system for Liverpool, the way how they're getting used to passing through the lines, like they say, the passing through the lines against Ipswich was really, really good. It's interesting to see if Liverpool could keep that up under this new manager, but they have the players that have played together for a long time to do it. But I think Liverpool will get the win. I think Liverpool will be 2-0. I like the 2-0 prediction. I think Liverpool are a strong side. Salah is in form again. You know, when Salah starts season like this, you can expect him to get a run going. I'd be surprised. What I'd look to see is if Darwin Núñez gets back in the team or works his way into the team, and if he could impact this team this season, or if Liverpool going forward will look for another striker. That's probably the biggest thing I'd look to watch towards the season with Liverpool and see how they get through the season. But Brentford can cause them troubles, and Bremu and Wissa good players. But at the same time, I think Liverpool comfortably get this 2-0 victory.
Yeah. I think Liverpool, especially with the start that they had at the season in the first game, I think they'll get the victory over this Brentford team. But once again, people, let's see what will happen this upcoming weekend. So let's finish off with Arsenal. Not the show, people. Let's just finish off covering these fixtures before we head into the main talking points surrounding this upcoming weekend. So we have the Bomb Club in Arsenal facing off against Aston Villa, who I think Unai Emery is better than Mikel Arteta because he has won more trophies and he's just a better manager overall. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any sensible manager purchases a dog and names them win. I don't think any sensible manager also hires pickpockets to snatch the wallets of his players, thinking that okay, we'll maintain their focus a bit more. It's just plain stupidity. You know what I'm saying? It's just for like show. I mean, Mikel Arteta, calm down, bro, calm down. But anyways, let's head into Aston Villa versus Arsenal this upcoming weekend. Dicanio, big up yourself once again. Just remove your comment section quickly. All right, so both of you guys are Arsenal fans. Leon Bailey, big Steph. No, before we even get into the Leon Bailey topic, Steph, I mean, we could talk about Leon Bailey, but let me hear your thoughts surrounding this game first before we touch on Leon Bailey. Go through.
Like I was saying a little bit earlier before, I think Arsenal coming into this game off the back of a win, they're knowing that every single point matters and every single point counts. And every single way we can look to get a victory, we must take it. And there's margin for error is so small going up against a team like Manchester City. Now going to Aston Villa, a place where, to be honest, the last 2 times we played them, we lost. To be honest, so it seems like over last season they have been our bogey team. But I think, and I'm gonna put my neck on the line, I put my heart on the line and say, Arsenal will not only win this game but keep a clean sheet. That's what I'm predicting, and that's what I'm very confident in happening. Because I think once we change that left back position, Zinchenko probably come with the team for Yuri and Timber, for Calafiori, like I was mentioning earlier. I think either one of them could slot in and still have the style of play, but is if you could do that defensive job against a good player like Leon Bailey. But that's probably the big thing I'd watch out for this weekend.
And I mean, despite the last 2 games in which you guys lost to Aston Villa, Arsenal, they've had 3 victories in the last 5. So not a bad record against Aston Villa, the Clarets in Blue. I believe that's what they're called, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Clarets in Blue, right? Clarets in Blue?
I think so.
That's Aston Villa, right? Or
Burnley?
No, that's West Ham, right?
I know they call West Ham the Irons.
No, West Ham are Hammers. Clarets in Blues, Aston Villa, yeah. I believe so. Not them? What them call
I just called on the villains. I know people just call on the villains.
They could, I mean,
it could be.
I think Zinchenko will start. I don't think he has done anything to not start. I think he definitely will start. I could see Timber starting, but I think Mikel loves Zinchenko. So big stuff.
Give me nightmares, bro. Please.
Anyway, I think
Aston Villa is called Clarets in Blue, so I was spot on. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, like I think Zinchenko will start for everything in possession. I think he'll be the same lineup we saw last week. I don't think he's going to change anything. I think the main thing This comments is hilarious. But yeah, I think the main thing for this game is that we just have to keep it compact. I think our mentality has been increasing every season, and I think this season now, I think Mikel is going to be chiming at them. Every single point counts, right? So I think the mentality shift is there. I think the way that Saka came out of the blocks last week, even Havertz, he was just everybody just seems like they're on it. Um, and I don't know how you're talking about win the dog. Win is the best thing that's ever happened to Arsenal. Anyways, but except the Invincibles. But as I'm saying, I think it will be a good game. I feel like it's going to be 2-0 to the Arsenal.
Mm. Um, not much from me. I'm not an Arsenal fan, so I could care less. I mean, if
You are an
Arsenal
Arsenal
lose,
fan,
Yeah,
don't
give your thoughts and opinion. Let me hear your bad mind. Let me hear all the bad mind you got. Let's see what you
I
got
don't
to
have any
say.
thoughts. Trust me, I don't have any thoughts. I didn't get to watch the opening game for Arsenal. I didn't get to watch the full Aston Villa game, but I did catch majority of the Villa game. But listen, whenever Villa faces up against these big teams, they bring that intensity. That's what I will say. Um, where's this game being played at? Villa Park.
Yeah.
Who did Aston Villa acquire in season? Amadou Onana, Mattison from Chelsea. Who else? The Soul Diaby.
I don't
So
think
not
any
much.
attacking
They
players.
lost.
I
They
think there's
also
a young
lost Douglas Luiz too.
Douglas Luiz. Yeah, the midfield is kind of weak. But seeing that the game is being played at Villa Park and Aston Villa, they're normally up for these types of games, especially with Unai Emery. I think Unai Emery has something against Arsenal in terms of the way he was treated at the club. So he's
Yeah,
always
I think he does.
bringing that
I think he does.
revenge with him to like get one over Arsenal. And having a player like Emi Martinez as well. Um, you know, I don't think Arsenal treated him badly, but he's always playing to prove a point. And I think his point to prove against Arsenal is always that, listen, I was good enough, but I wasn't given the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But Arsenal, they wanted to go into a different direction, and that is what they did. And I think everything worked out in terms of Arsenal went on the up in terms of rebuilding, and Emi Martinez found a club in which he could have displayed his talent, and he went on to become the starting goalkeeper for Argentina, winning two Copa Americas and one World Cup. So what more can you ask for? The stars did align and things did work out in both parties' favor. So, in terms of a win, what I will say is I give Aston Villa the win. Reason being, early stages in the season, I don't really see any expectation on Arsenal in the early stages. I mean, listen, you want to win all the games, right? Don't get me wrong. But if it was the back end of the season where there's more pressure, then I think there's more to play for Arsenal. I'm not saying that there's nothing to play for, but this is where Mikel Arteta has to step in and say, listen, guys, it might be the second game of the season, but we have to be mentality monsters in which we want to win all of these games. I could care less if it's the start of the season or we just come out of pre-season. We might not be fit enough, but we just need to win. We just need to win, 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 win. You know what I'm saying? So that is where the manager comes in and the staff to drive that mentality in these players that, listen, do not look down on this game. And I think despite you're not having much to play for in the sense that like you're not like 1 point behind City come May or whatever the case is. I think getting revenge over this Aston Villa team will be a big boost for Arsenal. But I still give Aston Villa the edge, seeing that it's being played at Villa Park. And I think this.
You don't even believe that. You don't even believe
You
it.
don't believe it. I'm
even
listening to
believe
him
it.
talk and
Yeah,
man. Yo, Kishan, let's get into
You don't even
Sterling.
believe that.
Please, because you're just chatting foolishness at this point.
Believe that Villa will be
It's
Arsenal.
not
I
Manchester
know you
United
don't.
you're talking about, bro.
I feel like
Sterling.
I feel like you guys are disrespectful. But anyways,
The man get touchy.
Leon Bailey, big step. Last time what you said you weren't afraid of Leon Bailey. Why?
Because I don't think he will score against us. I think, yes, he's probably their outlet and their main man, but at the same time, I don't want to come on here and disrespect any of the Reggae Boyz fans or hurt anybody's feelings, but I feel like if we get the left back position sorted out, we sort out the lanes in terms of like our midfield lanes in Declan Rice and Odegaard with Partey sitting deep, and you have potentially Calafiori or Timber there. I don't think Leon Bailey really poses us a serious threat. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to impact the game at all, but do I think he will score, assist, cause us too much damage? I don't think so, and I really hope not.
Listen, I believe that this is a game that Leon Bailey relishes in terms of playing against the likes of Arsenal. Big team. He lives for these moments, and I think Leon Bailey has a lot to prove this season. especially for me, people did say that Leon Bailey last season was a world class player, in which I do not believe, not for one bit last season. If he goes on to have a next season like last season, then I'll not have that conversation. I'm sorry. I don't think I can have that
I was about to
conversation.
say I wait 4 years to hear Saka is world class, and then man want to give Leon Bailey after 2 seasons. I was about to say,
Yeah.
whoa,
So even
steps,
if he has even if he has a
steps.
wonderful season this season, I still can't put him in that conversation of world class. I can have a
People are
conversation.
still asking if Saka is world class to this day.
That's my whole point. Oh, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, the big pundits across England, they're asking that question, and Liam Bailey is not even in that conversation as to whether or not he's even world class. I don't know how
No,
Jamaicans
I
go around
think people
talking
have
about.
come to the realization now that Saka is world class.
Yeah,
I
slowly
think
but
it's,
surely.
it's universally understood that Saka is world because they couldn't be talking about the fact that Yamal is world class and not talking about Saka. It's at that point it's just disrespectful.
The conversation even making the sense at that point, literally.
So
Yeah. So, for me, even if Liam Bailey, has a wonderful season once again, listen, people, if Liam Bailey going to score like 50 goals or 100 goals, then which will not happen, then I can say that he's definitely world class. But I know that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying, bro? However, the good thing for Liam Bailey is not having Diaby at the club. It could be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. Good thing in the sense that you don't have anybody breathing down the back of you, so you can play. You just can play with more freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like you just go out there, play the best of your football. However, not having competition can oftentimes make you complacent, right? And it makes you not perform to the best of your ability because you don't have somebody behind you challenging you. So in terms of Leon Bailey's mentality, I don't think it'll be a bad thing for him. I think it'll be a good thing. Yeah, Philange who can play off the right hand side as well. I know that he's a young player, but he can also challenge Leon Bailey. Wonderful player from the championship. He was there at Aston Villa before, and the purchased him back. So, that's my thoughts surrounding Leon Bailey getting into this game against Arsenal. Obviously, if Arsenal beat Aston Villa, then it will be a humbling moment for the Villa fans as well as Leon Bailey himself. But once again, big up to Leon Bailey. Now, people, the next thing I want to talk about before we even go any further into this Raheem Sterling topic is Dujuan Richards. Dylan and Steph, I don't want you guys to chime in because I want to get straight into the Sterling thing. I'll just say this, people. There's a huge uncertainty surrounding Whisper's future. And I would say, do not let Craig Butler fool you or anybody from the Phoenix Academy. When people come on these public platforms and talk about Whisper being a wonder kid and how, when Whisper gets in the Chelsea first team in the next 5 years or after he gets in the next 5 years, after that he'll be the leading goal scorer for Chelsea. It is total BS, people. If it happens, then I'll be the first to say it. Big up Craig Butler and the Phoenix Academy team. However, you signed Pedro Neto. You're selling Lukaku. You're trying to get Victor Osimhen. You have Nkuku who didn't really do much last season because of injuries. He's coming back into the team. You have Sterling who will be leaving. And you have Joe Felix who they just brought in as well. Plus you have the Payers. You have the likes of Cole Palmer there. There's this one young player I wanted to call. I can't remember his name, but he just said Broja, who is going on alone with an option to buy at Ipswich. I mean, where's the future for this kid, Dujuan Richards? I don't think there's any future for this guy. But anyways, let's move over to Raheem Sterling. Now, the big question is, Steph, I saw this on Talksport, so I wanted to get the opinion of you guys. Is Raheem Sterling overrated or is he overhated? Which one?
Definitely overhated. Literally, for me, overhated because, to be honest, you can't have one of the players that left Liverpool as a top talent, went to Man City, becomes Pep's second all-time scorer behind Lionel Messi. Then, to be honest, I have his numbers here for Chelsea. 3 seasons at Chelsea, except for his last season at Man City, 17 goals, 8 assists. First season at Chelsea, 9 goals, 4 assists. But even last year, people say he wasn't good enough. 10 goals and 8 assists and a goal contribution every 153 minutes. Better than most wingers across the Premier League. So to be honest, when you talk about a player who's played in a real inconsistent team, who's had managers in and out through the door, players in and around him in and out through the door, no consistency in and around him, whether that be above him or below him. To be honest, he's still standing out amongst the players. So for them to already want to get rid of Sterling, to be honest, it doesn't really make sense to me. But seeing them signing Pedro Neto, Mudryk, whole heap of man, it also makes sense at the same time. But definitely Raheem Sterling overhated, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. And for me, well, Dylan, go through because you have to leave soon. So let's just wrap it up quick. So you go through and I make my last one.
No, I think for me, Sterling is such a class player. When you look at him at Manchester City, he was the guy. And I think he's one of those players that, you don't like when we talk about the color card. But if Sterling was white, Brazilian, Portuguese, any literally from anywhere else, he would have been so loved, right? And he was just, I remember Sterling, like, he used to put fear in people, but then they used to play him down in the media. The way that they used to deal with Raz was just so disappointing. So I think it comes down to that. At the end of the day, I don't think he was the most aesthetically, like, in terms of his style of play. Like, I think the same thing that goes and hurts Saka. Um, we see it with how people talk about Saka as well. But I'm a personal Raheem Sterling fan. I think Chelsea has dealt with him badly. I think his last years at Manchester City, they dealt with him badly. Um, and I think the only club that really was there for him, and maybe I was too young to fully remember, was his last days at Liverpool. But yeah, I think he's a player that got a lot of flights. I remember the days when it was the conversation of Daniel Sturridge or Sterling, right?
Yeah.
And he has lived up to such great expectation, wore that number 10 shirt for England so well. So yeah, I think he's completely overhated. I think I take him at Arsenal in a heartbeat because he's still 29. He's still
Mm.
29. So if you gave him a little rest, if you took him, Mikel handles the media very well. He's a star that doesn't need. It's very weird to see Raheem Sterling even talk in the media. To put out a statement, you don't know the level of frustration that Sterling would have to be going through to get to that stage. So I think I'm very passionate when I talk about Raheem Sterling because I think it just shows the innate racism within football. Same thing with Lukaku as well. Same thing with Vinny Jr. So yeah, you might think it's different, but at the end of the day, I think Sterling is hated for absolutely no reason. Yes, he does miss chances, but everybody misses chances, right? He has won so many trophies in his career. So, yeah, overhated.
Yeah, I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves, and I can publicly say this: Manchester City, it's a disgraceful club. I've seen conversations where people ask if Raheem Sterling is a Man City legend. Listen, Sterling definitely is outright a Man City legend. You don't score all those amount of goals. You don't win all those amount of trophies. The only thing that Sterling didn't really win at City is the Champions League, in which City struggled. It wasn't only a Raheem Sterling thing in terms of missing big chances in some of these big games, but he was also there for City in some of these big games in the Champions League campaign when they failed to win the trophy or went to the final. So for me, Sterling is definitely a legend. Trevor said Raheem Sterling was world class, Leon Bailey not world class yet. Listen, as much as I love Sterling, I don't know if Sterling was ever world class. I think it was a bracket below. Reason being, I think he's more of a system player in the sense that it's not a bad thing to be a system player, Big Steph, but you're not going to be truly tested outside of that system. If you can't thrive in different systems, like for example, I think if you put Vin in any team, he thrives. I think if you put Erling Haaland in any team, he thrives. I think if you put KDB, Bruno Fernandes, Martin Odegaard, I think they'll thrive. Whereas Raheem Sterling, strict and he needs a strict system that really focuses on his game to get the best out of him, especially when
I,
he's not naturally a good
I
finisher.
wouldn't I wouldn't
Hold
say
on.
that, I wouldn't say that.
I don't know at the time. Hold on. At the time when Sterling was good, I don't know if you put him in a Real Madrid team back then or a prime Barcelona team or some of these Bayern Munich of old when they were once at their best. I don't think Raheem Sterling is the player that's going to thrive. Maybe I don't think so. I don't think to the level that he was. So I didn't see him as world class at the time, but I definitely saw him as like a really really good player.
And I can see that now again to get into those prime Real Madrid, prime Barcelona side is something different. Like that, that's a whole different category of a world class player. But I feel like playing for Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers and playing alongside multiple teams that in that team that pushed for a Premier League title, changing and going to Man City, Pep, one of the most rigid managers of all time, scoring turns him into a finisher, scores so many goals. And even his tenure at Chelsea, we could talk about him not performing, but in and out of the team there, to be honest, he still scored goals. I look at for England. England had whole different styles of managers. You talk about Southgate, you talk about the managers before. You have Hutchinson as well in there. He scored goals under all of them, to be honest. So at the same time, I wouldn't say he's a system player. A bracket below world class, I could kind of understand the argument, but at the same time, the numbers and to be honest, the productivity of Sterling, for when he was around, I would say he was just in the conversation for being world class. I wouldn't call him a system player.
And yeah, I don't really understand that argument still, because him and Sadio Mane were basically at that level, right? I don't remember who was a better left winger than those two. So I think your mind kind of colonized by the English media still to say that Sterling wasn't world class, because the man was absolutely world class left winger.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let me just set this comment. He says, TL KGB, big up yourself. Him say, overhated in the media because they target him, which is virtually motivated. Overrated as a player because he's a dusty system player with a lot of technical deficiencies. Obviously, using the word dusty is a bit strong.
Yeah, but Sterling age, who is not a system player?
No,
who is not a system player? You tell me what team.
I don't mean like that, brother. I mean some players, they really are only like, if you don't have a rigid system for these players to focus on their game, then you will not get the best out of them. Whereas other players, you put them in multiple different teams, whether it's a defensive system or a balanced system or a more attacking system, you still probably get the same output from them. Or if there's a drop off, it's not by much. Whereas Raheem Sterling,
which player is that don't have no system deficiency?
Bro, you put KDB in any team. You put KDB in any team.
Absolutely not.
Hold on. You put
How did KDB not end up getting a run at Chelsea?
Brother, that's your early stages of your career, brother. You can't define the man by early stages
of
his career.
Why hasn't he won a World Cup for Belgium?
Are you dumb, bro?
What do you mean? If he's such a good player, if he doesn't need a system, then why hasn't he won a World Cup for Belgium? Why?
Reform. Can you differentiate a midfielder's role is to create opportunities for players in front of him? If you have competent players in front of any midfielders who create enough opportunities that are adequate chances, then you will get the best step. For a midfield player to look good, the forward players have to be scoring the opportunities that he's creating.
But KDB is a goal-scoring midfielder.
Yeah, but he'll also score goals. But to get the assists as well, you have to have players who score the chances that he's creating. But you put KDB in Real Madrid.
KDB done, right? To win the World Cup. At Belgium, when has KDB had a world-class game when it mattered? Him get to know final?
No, got the conversation about it shows that your hatred for Man City is blatant.
You know what? I like Man City. I like Pep Guardiola. What do you mean hatred for Man City?
Everyone said Messi could be called a system player. How could Messi be called a system player? Messi win trophy with Inter Miami. Messi win Copa America with Argentina and World Cup. And Messi performed at the highest level with Barcelona. And when he played Champions League against the English teams, he decimated and annihilated these English teams.
Okay, but PSG Messi was the same as Barcelona Messi?
Bro, it's PSG, brother. Like
Argentina Messi is the same as PSG Messi? No?
Bro, he did perform at PSG despite what anybody wants to say. First season, not so much, but still. Man, I don't indulge in this convo because I feel like I'm not trying to hurt up me.
You get what I'm trying to say? All players these days are system players. Real Madrid have a system. It's just more
bro, you're trying to, on purpose, I think you're trying to fail to understand where I'm coming from. But listen, people, we're coming to the end of it. Please go ahead, people. Stop what you're doing. Just go ahead quickly. Hit that like button if you did enjoy the Title Talk preview show for this upcoming weekend. Just stop what you're doing. Like the video, people. I'm emphasizing to just hit that like button. I know that some folks kind of forget at times or they're a bit stingy with it. I mean, if you don't like the video, to be honest, the only thing I can ask you to do is like the video just to help us. If you don't like it and you want to dislike it, fair enough. You're not entitled to liking the video, but it does help people. You know, we thank you for the continuous support. Also, share the video with your friends and family. Subscribe if you're new. And let me just take the last couple comments before we end the show. Dicanio Tomlinson says, Saka White link up is peak. Greg McCarthy said, how much world class player you have in the world? Because if these guys are not who are, I think Vinny is world class. I think Saka is world class. I think Foden is world class. I think Mohamed Salah is world class. I think Bruno is world class.
Bruno
Fernandes is a world class midfield player. Like, what are we doing?
World class at what?
Anyways, people, catch us.
World class at what?
Catch us next week Monday for the review of the Premier League weekend. Reggae Boyz Weekly.
That one in there.
Reggae Boyz Weekly this Saturday and Sunday. Bro, Bruno Fernandes is a world class player. So all of us said Martin Odegaard world class.
That's what?
Martin Odegaard world class, but Bruno not world class.
Martin is not world class yet.
Alright, so Odegaard not world class.
Not yet.
But Bruno world class.
If you think he's world class yet? I don't think he's world class yet.
Who? I think Odegaard is world class.
You think Odegaard is world class?
Okay, I'd say Odegaard is a world class talent. Do I think?
He's not
Yeah,
world
I'll
class.
say. I know. I'll come and say yes. I think Odegaard is world class. I think Odegaard is world class. Yeah.
Taiwan is
I think
Hamilton.
Odegaard is world class.
He's
I
not
would
world-
advise you to just be a bit less emotional. Anyways, I think Liam Bailey needs to pay me a check actually, rather than me paying him a check. I don't know who you think Liam Bailey is like. He's untouchable, like you can't talk about. But anyways, people, I'm going to end the show by saying Bruno Fernandes is a world class player. If you don't think that this man doing this for over 5 seasons in a bad United team, the numbers that he's putting up, also performing for Portugal as well. I think if anybody makes Bruno Fernandes look bad for Portugal, is the bum Cristiano Ronaldo, who shouldn't be playing.
Nah. What?
You know what I'm
You
saying?
disrespect your club legend like that?
Bro, Ronaldo can piss off as they can. What is Odegaard world class at? Bro, I'm going to leave this by saying, I think that Odegaard is
world class qualities, but I don't think Odegaard is world class yet.
Bro, how?
I was
Not there yet.
So wait, this is actually because me and you are Arsenal fans. What do you like to? What can Odegaard become a world class player after this season?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's because it's for me, right? I wanted to see Odegaard step up during those really tough times, and he did not. He did step up in those last 3 games, but there were periods of time that Odegaard just went quiet.
Bro, listen. I don't think we have to be hell-bent on the fact that a player has to do it over like 3 or so seasons to be defined as world class. If a player is having like, if a player is having like 2 exceptional, brilliant seasons, and you see the talent levels is like above everyone, and you think he'll continuously perform at that level, then he can be a world class player. In terms of going missing in games, I said that in the group chat recently. However, I even said it to Steph. However, bro, I'm sure that Vinicius, despite me thinking Vinny is a world class player, despite me thinking Salah is a world class player, bro, we can remember a lot of games last season where Salah went missing. It doesn't mean that he's not world class. I've seen games where KDB is missing at times for Manchester City. It doesn't mean that he's not world class. I've seen games where Bruno is missing for United. It doesn't mean that he's not world class. Are they having more good games, exceptional games? Are they having more standout games than games in which they're missing? Yes. So I think Martin Odegaard is a world class player, just as how Bruno is a world class player. I think the only thing that is beating a Martin Odegaard is that he's a captain and he has to maybe step up at more crucial points or moments across the season for Arsenal, as well as to deliver a season. One big accusation I have against Martin Odegaard, I don't know if it is as prevalent as it was when he just joined Arsenal, but he used to pass up a lot of goal scoring opportunities, and I think that's just the instinct of being a midfielder, wanting to create chances. Bro, even against Aston Villa last season at Villa Park, Odegaard had prime chances in and around the 18, and the man is passing up. I'm like, bro, despite me not being an Arsenal supporter, like, bro, that is a chance to shoot. Like, that's a dead-on goal once that is on target. So that's the only thing that Odegaard needs to work on in terms of being too kind. But that's all I'll say. Sorry, that Steph.
I agree with you, Preston. I agree with you, Preston, on that point about Odegaard taking more shots, because that's one thing I always said. If Odegaard wants to be world class and wants to push himself, he gotta score more goals. And it's not like he doesn't have a left foot to do it. His left foot is one of the best in the Prem, whether that be passing or shooting. He has the ability. But like Dylan also said, it comes down to performing. I think the performances were there, but at the same time, people still want to see that trophy not only lifted, but also those big moments in big games to lift us over the line. So it's a double-edged sword, to be honest, where you got greatness like that. But I think both players for me are world class, both Bruno and Odegaard.
And to address this last comment, man says CR7 making other players look dumb. I mean, bro, when Ole signed Ronaldo, Ole didn't even want Ronaldo. He changed the system at United to accommodate Ronaldo, and it didn't help the likes of Anthony Martial as well as Marcus Rashford and other players, because we were predominantly a counter-attacking team. When you have a man that is close to the age of 40, how can you counter-attack with a man like that has no legs left? The man goes Saudi Arabia. What has he done in Saudi Arabia more than get beat up by the team and Neymar play for? Like, come on, bro. Like, Ronaldo days, it's over, bro. It's over. Like, people try to shoehorn this man in the Portugal team. What can Ronaldo offer to Portugal that other players can offer? He ain't playing Luxembourg
at the same time, when Ronaldo came for y'all, he was your top scorer in the season. I think he scored 18 Premier League goals that season. So let's not even just store out there.
That's
like,
also taken away from the output. That's also taken away from the output of other players. You have to accommodate yourself to a Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's not
at the same time, who do you have no scoring goals like that? Because Ronaldo used to score chances
That's
out of
for
nothing.
Xerxes.
Out of nothing. Ronaldo used to score chances out of nothing. So at the same time, yes, I see where you get rid of Ronaldo to overall benefit your team. But at the same time, your biggest threat, y'all, and the biggest thing I hear y'all United fans is y'all need a striker to score goals and lead the line. But at the same time, that's a United fans issue. I'm happy
But
for the downfall
when
of Man
Ronaldo
United. I
left the
hope y'all
club,
never
right?
score a goal again.
When Ronaldo left the club and United said they drew a game or they lost a game, oh, you can't live without Ronaldo. At what point do you live without Ronaldo? You have to rebuild at a moment in time.
You do.
When
Yeah, I agree.
Ozil was on the bench at Arsenal, people made the accusation, oh, Arteta doesn't know what he's doing. Rah, rah, rah. Bro,
I agree.
it was evident that Ozil could not fit the system. You have to move on at some point, not because you lose our job. Oh, you can't live without Ozil. You have to move on. For as great as Ronaldo is, we had to move on in terms of rebuilding. We might not have an out and out like we'll have an out and out number 9 like 2 now, but they're not like proven plus in terms of like scoring 15 or 20 plus goals a season. But if you're not giving them the opportunity, how are you going to know? You have to rebuild eventually. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Being the leading goal scorer in the Saudi League is completely different to being the leading goal scorer in the Premier League. And I know that Ronaldo was right up there. Obviously, when you're that good like Ronaldo, you will be in that mix in terms of like a golden boot or whatever because he's that great, just like a Lionel Messi. But he also takes away from the team compared to what he was giving to the team. You think Ronaldo scoring goals was benefiting United more so than it was benefiting Ronaldo? It's all about Ronaldo, bro. He lost the final recently and look at the gesture of Ronaldo to his teammates. Come on, people.
I'm not saying that, but at the same time too, I do think Ronaldo still brought an element to you guys that you guys are still missing to this day in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net and having that clinical proven goal scorer to guarantee you the goals. At the same time, I'm not disagreeing with your point because at the end of the day, you still have to move. You can't have a 40-year-old Ronaldo at top. Like having Ronaldo at top right now would not make sense. But having Ronaldo in the club and you should have had young progressing through but no striker in there to develop a player like a Xerxes or no striker in there to develop a player like Højlund. You don't have two inexperienced guys at top leading the line. When you don't have Rashford in the most consistent form, you have Omari finding a way to break through on Garnacho. A bunch of young players and a bunch of inconsistent players. Can United continuously put the ball in the back of the net to win games? Would be my only thing. And Ronaldo was the guy doing that for you guys. So I just didn't like the little slander on Ronaldo. That's all. And I'm not even a United fan.
Yeah. And my last point is I think we need to stop like only like look at numbers and we need to like look at these players from the eye test and assess them. This comment to Ibrahimovic done it at Man U at late 30s. I want to say he did it at United. He won a Europa League trophy, fine, but in his first season, Ibra did miss a lot of chances. So whilst the player is giving something from a team, they're also taking away something from the team as well in terms of not scoring some of the chances that you're missing. And people might be like, oh, you miss chances in football. But you have to look at the types of chances that you're missing and make the assessment that are you getting a bit older? Do you have the legs to lead the line? Ibrahimovic did not have that. He was more like a target man who would play long balls over the top, like from Paul Pogba, whatever the case is. He got on the end of those chances. But also, Ibra did miss a lot of chances at Manchester United. Let's not forget that, people. Ibra was not the answer for United when we acquired him. It was more like a stopgap. A stopgap is never the answer. So I wouldn't say Ibra did it at United. For the age that he was, he offered us something that I'm grateful for. We ended up winning a Europa League, Carabao Cup, as well as the Community Shield. But other than that, bro, you have to move on at some point in time. That's all I'm saying, right? Because players do get older. To the last comment, Damian Fletcher, is there a link to enter the chat? Damian Fletcher, you have to catch us next week, Monday for the review. However, we have Reggae Boyz weekly coming up this Saturday and this Sunday as well. People, before we head out, smash that like button. Grateful for the support. MG, big up yourself. Dicanio, Trevor, and everybody, big up on yourself. And everybody have a wonderful night and a productive rest of the week.